and then we'll come back to that in a second. Likewise. You want to watch the announcement with me? Okay. Do you mind putting this back on the shelf over there? On the white shelf over there. Just put on the DS games from now. Thank you. Cyberpunk has a lot of neon lights. Keanu Reeves is a character. I bet the original design was to destroy Vice City and make Night City look like GTA clones. So I think Rockstar had the last laugh. Oh, really? I can see that. Alright, so... Alright, this is probably going to be a video on YouTube. So, hey everybody. Welcome. We are moments away from the announcement of the Game Award nominations for 2024. There's a lot of things that people are expecting to show up. Me, for example, I for sure, I mean, you know, just throwing it out there from the get-go, I think that the game of the year, my game of the year for 2024 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So for sure that game's going to be on the list. I feel like that's 100% guaranteed shoo-in. But there is a lot of conversation going around that, you know, this year wasn't as strong as last year. Last year was a really, really heavy-hitting year of game nominations, especially for Game of the Year. And when you really sit back and think about having, you know, 5 or 6 different nominations, it's kind of like up in the air. You could have some indie picks like Baltoro or Animal Well. You could have some not so indie picks, but some one-off games like Astrobot or Metaphor. So it's tough for me to put together a list of like what I think I know for sure is going to be on here compared to last year where it was a lot easier. You knew, for example, Tears of the Kingdom was going to be on there, Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2. You know, there was a lot of things. Who are we pretending to be excited for? I mean, I would love to get some recognition for Astrobot. We could be excited for Astrobot being, you know, nominated for certain, like maybe Best Family Game would be cool. So Nintendo doesn't win it every year. But Nintendo's probably going to dominate Family Game because we got a new Mario Party this year. We got all the booster courses, I think, finished earlier this year. I'm not sure. The popular idea, but I think Sega should unveil a modern Dreamcast. I think that would be being a retro and have all the Genesis games backward. I think that'd be really cool. I definitely would love that. I think a Dreamcast console that would have all old games playable on it, but then also move forward without those games. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like Sega is just gonna stick to being just a, you know, game developer rather than a console developer, as much as we would love it. But Dreamcast was ahead of its time, man. It really was. Unfortunately, it was ahead of its time. I think I'm trying to think, like, there's certain games that would pop up on the Game of the Year. I think Helldivers 2 is probably going to be nominated for Game of the Year. Even though I want to say I don't have a huge stake in Helldivers 2, but I also realized that there's been a lot of like feedback and a lot of you know, backlash from the community about that game. But the initial launch, like that first 2 weeks, that first month even, it was like, you know, gaming, you know, just euphoria, man. People were losing their mind about how fun it was. Helldivers, dropping in with the boys, Vietnam, all that shit. If Sega ever comes back to being a console developer and releases a Dreamcast 2, I'll flip my shit so hard. But it's not likely. Yeah, I mean, it's not likely. But alright, we got 20 seconds left. I am gonna, like last year and the year before, I am going to be going through these nominations, casting my votes, talking about it with you guys, and then we can get back to some GTA 3 later. But let's see what Jeff Keighley and the Game Award people have for us this year, and what they decided was worthy. All I know is best OST better be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm sorry. That's one of the best gaming soundtracks ever. Let me know if it's too low. I can probably raise it up a little bit. I'll put it at like half. Let me know if that's too loud or not.
10 years ago, we began a journey together to celebrate video games as the biggest, most powerful form of entertainment in the world. And on Thursday, December 12th,
There better be at
right
least 10
here
minutes of
at the Fox Theater
Kojima.
in Los Angeles,
Probably.
we will recognize the best and show you what's next with the 10th anniversary of the Game Awards. Hey everybody, I'm Jeff Keighley, and welcome to the TGA Global Nomination Announcement Special. Today, it is my distinct honor to reveal this year's nominees, recognizing talented game developers from studios big and small around the world. And you can help select the winners by voting right now.
You can help with our 10% of vote.
All right, you've waited long enough, so let's do it. Here are the nominees for the Game Awards 2024.
All right.
For Best Ongoing Game, the nominees are Destiny
I'm not going to
2,
give my answer right
Diablo
now.
4, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. Your Best Performance nominees are
We'll go through it later.
Donna White for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hannah Tell for Life is Strange Double Exposure, Umberly Gonzalez for Star Wars Outlaws, Luke Roberts Silent Hill 2, and Melina Jurgens Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
Okay.
For the Best Mobile Game, the nominees are AFK Journey, Balatro,
Ooh.
Pokemon Trading Card
Whoa,
Game
that got
Pocket,
nominated? Really?
Wuthering Waves,
I wasn't
and
expecting that.
Zenless Zone Zero.
I think ZZZ takes that one.
Nominees for Best Art Direction are Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Urchin.
Wow, okay, so we got
Metaphor
DLC in that one.
Fantasio,
Ooh.
and Neva.
Okay.
For Best Score
That's
and
an
Music,
interesting
this
one.
year's nominees
Yeah,
are
Pokemon came out like about
Astrobot,
2 weeks ago or a little bit
Final
over.
Fantasy VII Rebirth,
That better win
Metaphor
best score of music.
Fantasio,
I'm sorry.
Silent Hill 2,
If
and
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth doesn't
Stellar
win
Blade.
this shit, like,
In the
oh,
category
Stellar
of
Blade's a good
Best
OST
Audio
though.
Design, these games are nominated: Astrobot,
Okay.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. Best Adaptation
Silent Hill 2
recognizes
getting a lot of
excellence in
nominations
authentically
here.
creating shows, movies, and other creative endeavors based
We already
on
know
real
Arcane's
game
gonna win
work.
this.
Here are this year's nominees.
We already know
Best
Arcane's gonna win
Adaptation.
this. If it,
Arcane,
yeah.
Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon Yakuza, and Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft. For Best
Silent Hill 2
Narrative in the
soundtrack is
game,
just a remix
the
of the original
TGA
games. That's not
nominees
fair.
are Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite
No.
Wealth, Metaphor ReFantazio,
Maybe.
Senua's Saga
I don't
Hellblade
think
2,
so.
and Silent Hill 2. Games for Impact celebrates
That one's gonna be a little
thought-provoking
tough
games with
one.
a profound pro-social meaning or message. Here are this year's nominees: Closer the Distance, Indica, Neva, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and Tales of Kenzera, Zao. The nominees
Wow.
for Best Community Support are Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's
I feel
Sky.
like, I feel like that one, Baldur's Gate would probably win. Community
Nominees
support with all the mods
Call
that
of
the
Duty
community
Black
put
Ops
out?
6,
Yeah.
Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree,
I don't think so.
Tekken 8, and Warhammer 40,000.
I
Space
think
Marine
Black
2.
Ops is gonna win that one.
Best Independent Game celebrates games with a high degree of risk tolerance, as they are produced outside of the traditional
Stuck up
policy
asshole
system.
everyone down.
Nominees are
I can't
Animal
unsee that, Ambu.
Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50.
Ooh, I haven't really got
Next
to
is
mess
Best
with UFO
Debut
50,
Indie
but I've
Game,
heard great
recognizes
things.
a development team that hasn't won a Game Award before. In fact, these teams published their first game in 2024.
Yeah, I feel like Balatro might win that one
The
though.
nominees are Animal Well,
Yeah.
Balatro,
Though it's a toss up
Nanolords,
between those two.
Pacific Drive, and The Plucky Squire.
Ooh, the Plucky Squad. I
best
mean, that one
VR
came out
AR
with like
game,
kind of
the
middling
nominees
reviews
are
because of the performance
Arizona
issues.
Sunshine Remake, Asgard's
I don't
Wrath
know
2,
shit about this.
Batman
I'm just gonna
Arkham
vote for
Shadow,
Batman. Fuck it.
Metal Hellsinger VR.
Whoa, I didn't know
and
Metal Hellsinger got VR. That's kind of cool.
for
Metro
Content
as
Creator
well.
of the Year, the nominees
Okay,
are
VR games.
Queso, Illawan,
I feel like it's gonna
Techno
be
Gamer,
Queso or it's gonna
Typical
be
Gamer,
Kai.
and Usada Pecora.
No,
Part of the Game
I don't
Awards
know.
is looking
Kai's
forward
not
to
up there?
what's next.
Wow.
And yes, we'll have lots of games to announce on December 12th. But what's the most anticipated
Dude, the Game
upcoming
Awards
game?
better give me
Here
a
are the
new
nominees
look
based on
at
currently announced
Jet Set
titles.
Radio, dude, please.
Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
No.
Ghost of Yote.
Yeah.
Grand Theft
Yeah, oh,
Auto
that,
6.
what the fuck? It's gonna win for
Metroid
sure.
Prime 4 Beyond and Monster Hunter Wilds. The best
Isn't,
action
like,
adventure
GTA
nominees
6's
are
trailer, like, the most
Astrobot,
viewed gaming
Prince of
trailer
Persia:
ever?
The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. For best role-playing, the jury selected Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth,
Yeah.
Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth,
No.
and Metaphor: Refantasia.
Infinite Wealth is, like, such a
the
fun
category
game, but
of
it's
Best
just
Fighter,
not, like, it's just
nominees
very
are
simple.
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Dude, if Sparking
Grand
Zero
Blue
wins,
Fantasy
it's so
versus
funny.
Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection.
I
Arcade
mean,
Classics, Multiversus, and
Nope.
Tekken 8.
Maybe.
The nominees for Best Action are Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
Oh, okay. I can maybe see Warhammer winning
Innovation
that.
and
Maybe.
accessibility celebrates games that are making our
I don't know.
industry
I have to look at the
available and
numbers, though. I'm
enjoyable
not
to more
sure.
people. Selected
The
by a
action game,
special
yeah, I
committee
can
of
see. Oh, that
accessibility
one's a little
experts.
tough. I
The
can't wait to go
nominees
through
for
these
innovation
more
and
in depth.
accessibility are Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and Star Wars Outlaws.
I don't know
Next
about that
up,
one.
Best
I'll have
Family
to check the
Game.
accessibility
Nominees
options.
are Astrobot,
Okay.
Princess Peach Showtime,
No.
Super Mario
Maybe.
Party Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda:
Nah.
Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
The
toss-up
best
between
sim
Mario Party and
strategy
Astrobot, I
nominees
think.
are Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kunitsugami: Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overlord.
Oh, okay, wow, Unicorn
This
made
year,
it in.
these titles are nominated for Best Sports Racing, F1 24, EA Sports.
I got no
FC
dog in this
25,
race.
NBA 2K25.
That's crazy that they
Top
put
Spin
sport
2K25,
games up against racing
and
games. It's just like
WWE
very.
2K24.
It's very strange. It's like, what's better,
All right, let's take a look at
Forza
our
or
three esports
WWE? That's so, it's such a
categories.
random
Starting with
category.
Best Esports Game. The nominees are Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of
Dota
Legends,
2 still doing,
Mobile Legends
still
Bang
around?
Bang, and Valorant.
Mobile Legends
Nominees
Bang
for Best
Bang? What the
Esports
fuck is
athlete
that?
are 3-3, Alexi B, Chuvy, Faker,
We already know Faker's gonna win.
Zywoo, and Kong Kong. And for the best esports team, our special esports committee nominated these teams: Billy Gaming, League of Legends; Gen G, League of Legends;
Whichever one
Navi,
Faker's on.
Counter-Strike; T1, League of Legends;
Yep.
and Team Liquid, Dota 2. All right, it's time for our final.
I think he
two
did say his name
categories
wrong.
for
It
Best
looked
Game
wrong,
Direction,
right?
Which recognizes outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. The
Jock
nominees
Dad.
are Astrobot,
Uh-huh.
Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring: Shadow of the
Might be Elden Ring.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor: Refantasia.
I don't know. The one that's like a big
Finally,
outlier.
Our global TGA jury, of which I am not a member, has selected the following 6 games as nominees.
All right,
for
here we
the
go.
Game of the Year at
Nominees.
the Game Awards 2024.
All right.
The Game of the Year nominees are
Rebirth.
Astro,
Astro. Okay.
Team Asobi, Balatro.
Oh, Balatro made it in.
Black Myth Wukong.
Okay, hold on.
Game Science. Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree.
I don't know about that, dude.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth from Square Enix, and Metaphor: Refantasio from
I don't know
Zero.
about Elden Ring being on there,
There you
man.
have it. Those are your nominees.
What
for
the
Game of
fuck?
the Year.
They
Yes,
literally
that
put
means
out
we're
that
gonna
thing
be
about
awards
DLC
orchestra
being
conducted by
eligible
Gordon
just
Bell.
because of
Later
this
these
fucking
live on
announcement.
this very stage on December 12th. But before then, you should head to the Game Awards.
What the fuck's this, Metaphor? It's a new Atlas game. Think of like Persona.
In all categories. Also, stay tuned
Oh,
for the
man.
announcement of our Player's Voice category, where fans 100% select the winner from 30 nominees. We'll announce those nominees on Monday, December 2nd.
Okay, so
The
player's
winners
voice
in
is
all
like what the
categories
fans
will be
think.
revealed live during the Game Awards when it streams globally on Thursday, December 12th starting with the opening act
Hi, babe.
at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
All right, hold on. So
Pacific,
it's at 4:30. I need to make sure I'm
12:30
off on this day. The Game Awards day is a big thing for me. I like making a big deal out of it. We usually get some food, we hang out, get some drinks, watch the reveals. It's like 3 hours long, right? December 12th. So next year, I mean not next year, next month. Wow, dude, that's crazy. That is wild. Let me look at the live stream chat. What a joke. I was here. Y'all cooked. Elden Ring wins. Elden Ring DLC is Game of the Year. It's silly. Game Awards Day is so fun to hang out with. Yeah, for sure. I agree. Here, let me zoom in so you guys can see the chat better. Yeah. Hold on, how I just missed this poll. Can you back off, please? Oh my god, please back up. Oh my god. Hold on. How do I go away? Dismissed. No, don't start playing something. Here, hold on. Let me pull up a another video or like some music for now. While we do this. All right, so yeah, let's read some of these comments here first before we jump into the nominations. I wonder if I can go vote right now because that's what I wanted to do. GG Wukong Game of the Year, a mod category in the future? Question mark. I guess we have the Persona grandson. Site is bugged. No Genshin. That's true. I don't think Genshin was mentioned, huh? Can't believe Balatro got so happy that I need to check it out, dude. Everywhere, like every podcast I've listened to, every like YouTube video guy that I watch, they're all talking about Balatro. I need to check it out. Metaphor is a new JRPG franchise made by Atlas Studio, Zero Studio. It's Atlas News Studio who released their very first non-remastered game. What happened? GG Elden Ring. Astrobot being nominated for like 10 things must be the joke of the decade. Okay. Let me see. Instant message. Totally. Hey, relax. Totally agree. Specifically, when Elden Ring already won Game of the Year 2022, which didn't really deserve it. Okay, I don't. That's a little too much, there, Lone Warrior. All right, I don't know about that. I wouldn't go that far. Wuthering Waver Game of the Year. No. No 10 pulls neither. Elden Ring is more than DLC dummies. Server error. Anyone voting for a DLC as Game of the Year has only ever had wrong opinions. The Mid Awards, that's embarrassing. Website doesn't work. Genshin didn't get shit. Shadow of Erdtree is not better than base game. Looks like Ubisoft has run out of bribe money. A DLC being nominated is bullshit. No Space Marines 2. What the hell? Elden Ring for the win. Elden Ring DLC should not win. Shaft's Persona 3 Reload is insane. That's true. I forgot about that. At least for like soundtrack, because it got totally remastered, huh? Metaphor for Game of the Year. Gamers rejoice. Black Myth Wukong was not snubbed. Once again, you showed your hatred for Sonic, Jeff. You have not nominated Sonic X Shadow Generations. You biased jury. Damn, the Sonic fan is pissed. Elden Ring is this generation's Skyrim. I wouldn't go that far. Why the fuck is a DLC for Game of the Year? That's bullshit. It's like considering Natlin from Genshin a whole different game. Oh, I guess that's a good expansion. Guess I'll vote for ZZZ even though I don't play it. DLC for Game of the Year is a waste of a slot. Should have given it to other full games that deserve it. Alan Wake DLC Nowhere is insane. Stellar Blade. No Silent Hill 2. I mean, it got nominated a good bit, but not for Game of the Year. Alright, see you all in December, I guess. Let's hope they won't tell the winners to please wrap it up. They deserve to speak for as long as they can. But Latro, the hell is wrong with this the Game Awards? Shadow Generation's sad face. Wait 5 years for ZZZ to launch in Xbox like Genshin Impact and Death Stranding. Is it not on Xbox? No, Silent Hill 2 and Stellar Blade for Game of the Year. Sad. Shadow Generations was dope. Yeah, Shadow Generations was pretty cool. But obviously, I wouldn't put it as game of the year. But I definitely would have put it as like game direction maybe, or family game maybe. It was announced that expansion packs, new game seasons, DLC, remakes, and remasters are eligible to be nominated for all Game Awards categories. They want people to think that they are cool putting all these unexpected games in the nominations. Elden Ring DLC has zero chance against any of these for the Game of the Year. For the people that are hating on Balatro for being nominated, I doubt any of y'all have actually played the game. It's generally so addicting. Just because it's an indie doesn't mean anything. Hashtag rigged. Surprised Dragon Age didn't make the list. Yeah, I mean, I think that Dragon Age just didn't make that standard, you know? Same thing with Star Wars. Star Wars didn't hit that standard, obviously. Stellar Blade. I mean, I played Stellar Blade. I played through the game. I beat it on like the harder difficulty, and I enjoyed it. But I definitely don't feel like it's worthy of a Game of the Year nomination. What about Concord? Got 7 to 10. True. Let Wukong win Game of the Year. Let Metaphor and Rebirth win most awards. Would be fair. Okay. I like this guy saying "let," like it's like, oh please let them do this. Black Ops 6 has so many nominations. I'm so happy, says Darth Vader. Thank you, Darth Vader. All right, hold on. Does anybody have the link? Is the website up for the nominations? So the two games that got the most nominations is here. I'll pull it up right here for you guys. So the most nominated games is Astrobot and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, two Sony exclusive games at the moment, with 7 total, which is impressive. 6 nominations for Metaphor. 5 for Balatro and Silent Hill 2, and then 4 for the rest of them down here. So I think the one thing that I didn't get right was I thought Helldivers 2 was in there. I thought that it would be nominated for Game of the Year, but I was wrong. What else? I'm trying to think. I mean, Silent Hill 2 had a chance, but didn't quite reach it for whatever reason. And like, oh yeah, and Animal I guess wasn't nominated as much as I thought it was gonna be. All right, I don't think there's any more people commenting, or it might be closed off. It's in sub only mode, I guess. Let me keep scrolling up and see what else we got here. Let's just be honest here. This year was mid as fuck. I mean, obviously, like, yeah, like it's just the thing is, last year was so stacked that it's hard. Like, games take time to be made, and when you got heavy hitters coming out last year, there's gonna be like those studios that made those heavy hitters are, you know, they're working on their next game, or they don't have anything for this year. So it's like, that's the way I place it in my mind, and that doesn't mean that other studios can't reach that pinnacle, but it's like there's always gonna be some years that fall in the middle, or, you know, around other games where it's not gonna be as like super high. Because the thing is, the year started off strong, right? We had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We had Like a Dragon come out like around the same time, and Stellar Blade came out around that time too. There was a lot of releases coming out back to back. When you think a Square Enix game got Game of the Year, then it's a mid-year. I don't know about that. Square Enix is like what was it? Like, Square Enix is a company that is known for putting out bangers and duds. You know, I feel like Square Enix is like, you're either gonna get fucking peak or you're gonna get mid. You know, and there's like no in between with Square Enix. It's either fucking great or it's pretty whatever, pretty basic. And Rebirth was great, man. I can't I really can't sit there and tell you anything about Rebirth that didn't make me fucking smile. The music was amazing. The art direction was amazing. The combat was amazing. The the progression of the world and exploration and collectibles and all that stuff was amazing. It was a great game. It's perfect. Um, Silent Hill doesn't deserve a nomination either. Game runs like dog water. Yeah, I mean, there's game like that's something that's rough because like the game might run like dog water on PC, but then it runs better somewhere else. Same thing with like Warhammer, for example. Like Warhammer, whenever you remove the technical aspects of it being shit, you mean for example, like Elden Ring came out on PC and it was shit. You know, like it ran terribly, was missing like features, and over time it got better. But it's like, you know, Concord Bros, pour one out. Let me see. There needs to be a category for that. Best Dead on Arrival game. I mean, obviously they would never do it because they don't want to like be disrespectful to developers. Because you win an award like that, then, you know, put some people through some rough times of getting hired somewhere else. But yeah, I think it would be funny. I think it'd be funny as hell. But yeah, hold on, let's go back to the... Is there like a final list that shows them? No, it's just showing all of them. I'm trying to see... Asma is doing his version called the Shame Awards. Oh my god, yeah. I mean, that's definitely going to be stuff like that is going to work for some people for sure. Here, let's see what else we can read here while we wait to see if the link comes up for voting or not. I don't know if voting is going to be today or not. But and so if there's no voting today, then I'm still going to like go through the nominations and then we can talk about them. And then I'll just vote on my own later. Let's see. Best multiplayer for Black Ops. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for Game of the Year. Concord still goated. Time for voting, chat. See you in December. Balatro, Elden Ring is more than DLC dummies. Sonic X Shadow Generations should have at least been best music or action adventure. Yeah, I could see that. I agree with that. I think that all the added tracks to the generation side of Shadow, and then on top of that, the action adventure aspect, I can see that, sure. I'll have to look and see what else got nominated for action adventure. I'd rather have Wukong win than a stupid DLC that isn't a new game or a remaster of old shit, but new graphics and it's more better than the woke games that came out. Okay. Good Genshin 0 nominations, bro. Where's Mavuika? Where's Persona 3 Reload and Sonic Generations? Yeah, I'm surprised that Persona 3 Reload didn't get anything. Like art direction or just an overall game direction. I'm surprised it wasn't in there. And also music. Suck It Concord, No Pirate Software, what the fuck, Clash of Titans, Wukong. Miyazaki once again taking the throne. Let's go. Make DLC so good that your DLC will select for Game of the Year nominations. Balatro's goated, don't ever disrespect it. Wukong better than Gunner Blade. Good stream. Never watching again if a DLC wins. So, okay, so I guess let's talk about that. Like, so how do y'all feel about that? How do we feel? Like, personally, I didn't get to touch Elden Ring DLC yet. From the people that I've spoken to who have played it, they are, you know, they're okay with it. They thought that it was all right. It was just fun. Another jump into Elden Ring with the new additions. Fumble says never beat it, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, from my experience, the people that I spoke to about the game, they just weren't a huge fan of it as much as the base game. Like, I mean, they were a fan of it, but they just didn't love it as much as the base game. I don't think DLC counts as another game since it's a continuation of Elden Ring. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of like like Dark Souls 2, for example, like the DLC is somehow like older Dark Souls games, some DLC aspects are interwoven with the base game, right? Like some weapons or certain things you can do you can reach that stuff. I think both DLCs and remakes should be Game of the Year contenders, given their own categories. It's a tough conversation, because for me, I understand and I agree to an extent. For DLC, for sure, I agree. But for remakes, it's like when you have an outline of a game and you're like, okay, well, let's take the outline of this game that people enjoyed, or they are trying to re-envision this game to see if they'll make people like it more. You're gonna take the outline of the game story, revamp the story, new voice actors, new character models, new environments, new sections, new boss battles, new weapons. You know, there comes a point where, yeah, it's a remake, but it's a remake. But I would agree that remasters should be in the category with DLC. So like if I remastered Last of Us 1, that shouldn't be up for Game of the Year. Last of Us 1 should be in the, like, you know, oh, how good of a remaster or DLC was this? I would agree with that. Remasters, which are completely different. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's how I would feel. Because remakes are like, you know, for example, Final Fantasy VII is a remake of Final Fantasy VII, but those games are completely different. Completely different. In every way. Story, too. Nah, I stand by my statement. Okay. Well, I don't agree. I don't think remakes deserve to be shafted, because there's remakes that have a lot more effort put into them than what is expected. The Last of Us remake, Dead Space remake are basically copy and paste with better graphics. Yeah, and see, those teeter, like, I agree with that. Dead Space remake is essentially a remaster. They just called it a remake, which gets confusing. And yeah, I personally don't consider that a remake, but they are technically remade in the same way that, you know, all the everything's made from the ground up again. It's just utilizing the engine the same way or whatever. So that's where it gets tricky. That's why I said I kind of agree with you and I kind of don't. So you can argue Elden Ring DLC isn't just basic DLC because it's adding like new features. But they are pretty much the same game, but with way better graphics. Yeah. So I would, like, you know, that's the thing, is that I think that's on the developers and then on the jury themselves to be able to divulge into that further, to find out more about how the games are considered. Because yeah, a person can call this like, oh, we're gonna remake this game, but it's mainly a remaster. And, you know, then they would probably be like, okay, well, that one's not considered, because for us, we see this in line more with remaster. Erdtree is in DLC. Because if The Last of Us and Dead Space aren't remakes, Erdtree is in DLC. I mean, wait. There's a big distinct difference between those two games that you mentioned about them being not remakes. Those are like games that came out years ago. Erdtree getting DLC within like a year or 2 years or so. That's a little bit more recent, where it wouldn't be considered like redoing the base game in any way. You know what I mean? I don't quite see what you mean. But if it's content that you downloaded that gets added to the game, isn't that DLC? Well, you know, you're not wrong. but yeah. That's where I fall on the whole, you know, conversation. Yeah, but you're arguing that those aren't remakes because they just overhaul graphics and models. Yes. So wait, how does that play into Elden Ring being a DLC or not? That's what I'm trying to like bridge that thought process. Remakes, they're not remakes because they're just overhauling graphics and models. Yeah, because whenever you, like, to my knowledge, when you are remastering a game, you're taking the game and the way it plays and all that other stuff and then giving it a facelift, right? You're giving it better graphics, better models. Sometimes you can even get a different voice actor for certain characters if they passed away and you want to add a little extra dialogue or something. things like that. And then if a remake is you're taking a game and then doing it in a new way, where you're adding like whole new sections, entirely new layouts to certain areas, stuff like that. Because when you compare it to 99% of other DLCs, it's basically like an entire new game in terms of quality content, new enemies, weapons, spells, voice acting, etc. Well, no, I mean it's not new. Like that's the thing is, I think you're missing the extra step of what makes a DLC part of like an RPG. Like for example, I'm not gonna look at The Witcher 3 and look at Wine and Blood's DLC as a remake or like on the quality of a remake, because now you have Geralt doing new missions with new spells and new voice acting and blah blah. It's just an extension of that base game. Like the username Good Christian Bottom. Is that on here? Oh yeah, oh my god. Like that's like, you know, DLC, and that's the thing is that like DLC, most people think of like downloadable content as an extra character in a game, or a new stage, a new area to play in, downloadable content of like an extra game mode, like for example Devil May Cry, like the Bloody Palace or something like that. um but then there's, you know, in the past they were a little bit more specific about, oh, this is an expansion pass. Here's an expansion pass to the game where we're gonna add a whole new expansion to the game. You know what I mean? Like for example, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the single player Dragon Ball game, got expansions that would let him go into the like movie saga or into the world tournament saga, stuff like that, where it was like an expansion where, yeah, it was more cutscenes, more, you know, boss battles and stuff like that, but it still wouldn't be on the same caliber of like a, you know, I wouldn't compare it to a remake or whatever, or a remaster. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting one because it hasn't really come up before for some reason, where DLCs would hit that mark. And I think it's also very strange because people love Elden Ring. Elden Ring's like one of the best games ever made. But I think because Shadow of Erdtree kind of came and went, and it was like, what's the best way I gotta put it? It's like, you know, people love Pokemon, and the new Pokemon games come out, and they sell a bajillion copies, right? But the thing is, you don't really hear about people talking about the DLC for those games, even though it's so popular and people bought the shit out of that game. Because for most people, the majority of people, they played through the Pokemon game, got their team, beat the Elite Four, called it a day and said, that was a fun game, or I didn't like it, but whatever. They beat the Pokemon game, they beat the Elite Four, they level their Pokemon, and then they're done. DLC comes out and they're like, well, I had my, you know, I had my fun. Like, I don't need to revisit that, or I don't need to jump back into it, even if it's offering new battles and new Pokemon and blah blah. Like, I'm good. So I think that's kind of like what happened with Elden Ring, where a lot of people would jumped into Elden Ring, loved the launch of it, and then when they got announced DLC, the hardcore fans are like, oh yeah, more goodness, like more fights, it's gonna be harder. DLC fights are usually like even harder than the base game, stuff like that. But that's not gonna reach the masses like the base game did, I guess is how I'm putting it. It's never gonna hit the same number. So I think that's why seeing it pop up as a Game of the Year nomination is like, you know, off-putting for a lot of people, because they don't see that as the same caliber of a whole brand new full-length game. And, you know, obviously the hardcore fans are going to sit there and be like, well, you know, the Elden Ring DLC can be considered a full-length game. Like, it's longer than Balatro, that's for sure. It's longer than Astrobot, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I personally, you know, I'm not completely hurt by it to the point where I'm like, oh my god, how could they, how dare they put a DLC on there? But I definitely am not, I'm not advocating for it either. I don't think that it's the best play, because it's just gonna lead into more and more struggle within the community of people watching, saying like, well, why didn't this DLC get nominated, and this DLC is really good, why didn't that get thrown in there? Does it have to be a 20-hour plus DLC for it to be worthy? You know, stuff like that. And then also, yeah, the people who are downplaying Balatro, like, it's really hard because the masses and people who are watching and play video games, they don't see why games. It's like they want Deadpool and Wolverine to win Movie of the Year. They don't want you know, like the indie movie called The Pianist's Journey or something like that, where the acting is sublime and the soundtrack is amazing and the message is so raw and pure. But you know what I mean? Like, that's the best way I can explain it, is that they want the big blockbuster movie hits being nominated because, oh, look, this one's pretty, has the best graphics, has the biggest budget, has got the best you know, composers and everything attached to it. There's no way this could lose to an indie game. But, you know, there's a reason why indie games sometimes strike a chord, like Celeste, Hades, Undertale, Shovel Knight. You know, there's the list goes on and on of like so many different indie games who have like come out and just completely capture what makes gaming so fun. So yeah, I don't really pay any mind to people who completely shun those lesser like budget games that aren't as long or whatever. But yeah, hold on. I'm looking and trying to see if there's any link to the Game Awards. Let me see. The Game Awards. Is there a website? Bum bum. Here, this might be fun. Let's pull this up real quick. So this is the gaming on our gaming Reddit. So if we move in, we can see all the ones that are nominated. Ill Reddit, yeah, I know, but it's like the most frequent, like a forum that's easily accessible to just read shit. So this person said, so Game of the Year basically is just between Metaphor and Astrobot. Working my way through former, and I have the latter on my Xbox list. I don't know where he got that from. Get out of here. Boom. Best performance of the year, not even getting nominated. Wow, emulating last year's BAFTA nominations. I understand why people here don't think Shadow of Erdtree should be Game of the Year nominee, but what's wrong with Black Myth Wukong? Why are people in the comments against it? I think it's a fantastic game. Yeah, I really can't say much about Wukong. From what I saw of it, it was a fun game, but I also saw that it was very like safe. It was very you know, by the book, nothing too innovative, and obviously some issues graphically with certain consoles and certain parts of the gaming world and all that, but it looks absolutely stunning whenever it is running, and I definitely want to play it, man. I was hoping that it would come to Game Pass, but yeah, I need to play Wukong. You guys are gonna miss out on the absolutely amazing vocals of Metaphor. Does not win Best OST. I mean, it's up for Game of the Year, so we're gonna get it part of the big medley orchestra. The lack of 1000X Resist anywhere on this list is surprising but upsetting. Is unsurprising but upsetting. I don't know what that is. Imagine if Multiverses wins Best Fighting Game again. We crashed the website. I really hate the fact that DLC is now considered Game of the Year. I love Elden Ring, but I'm not a fan of the decision. Elden Ring is my favorite game, but how is a DLC nominated, but a game like Veilguard isn't nominated for an award? Veilguard got one more nomination than it deserves. Veilguard was pretty bad, to be fair. My wife and daughter, who are both on a second playthrough, would disagree. I'm not saying people can't enjoy it. It's just not that good objectively. I say Metaphor is going to be in the orchestra. I'm just happy Metaphor is going to be in the orchestra. Don't get me wrong, I like Shadow of Erdtree and respect FromSoft's work on it, but it should not be nominated for Game of the Year. The show is long overdue for a Best Expansion category. which is where Shadow of Erdtree belongs. I also want Metaphor to win because it's a rock-solid RPG with genuinely hopeful political message. Stunning art and UI design, killer soundtrack, one of the best, most heartfelt, heart-rending depictions of parental grief I've ever seen. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Helldivers 2 not getting nomination for best score in music seems like an oversight to say the least. There's music? Question mark? I can tell from the sounds of constant explosions and bullets flying over my head. How is a DLC nominee at the Game Awards is a joke? Welcome to the Joke Awards. Probably going to be a new thing going forward. I mean, racing and sport games in the same category. I mean, that's how it's been every year. I also think it's stupid. But yeah. No Helldivers for Game of the Year is crazy. How is Space Marine 2 only a nominee for one award? Yeah, I mean, what was it nominated for? Was it Best Action Adventure? I don't remember. The VR. Accessibility, family game, strategy, esport, game direction. Oh, it was nominated for Best Multiplayer, right?
The nominees are Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, and Warhammer 40,000.
Wow, okay. That's interesting. I don't really consider it, like, I mean, I know it has multiplayer, right? You can, like, fight against other people. Everything but Wukong and Shadow of Erdtree makes at least some sense for Game of the Year nominees. So that's about par for a course when it comes to TGA. It could be worse. How does Wukong not make sense? Yeah, how do we feel about Wukong, guys? It has PvP and co-op game modes. Yeah, I just don't think that's like the strongest selling point. I mean, yeah, definitely the PvE co-op game mode of like playing through the story. That's a big selling point for multiplayer. I agree with that. But yeah, I'm surprised it didn't get like Best Action Adventure. And I would have to see. I don't know how well the sound design is in that game. No satisfactory at all. Actually, such a letdown. I've heard nothing but good things about Wukong. I think it also broke Steam records. Yeah. I mean, it's up there. I'm not mad that it's up there because Wukong, I had that on my list for like top 10 games of this year. Can you really call a fighting game a multiplayer game when you're always calling the other player a bot? True. Another Crab's Treasure should have been nominated for accessibility. The amount of options in that regard in that game is really great. Yeah. Balatro being nominated for Game of the Year and Best Debut Indie Game, but not Best Indie Game is hilarious. That's interesting, right? Yeah, what the hell? Hold on. I guess they didn't put it in that one because it was considered Best Debut Indie Game where they've never been nominated before. Let me see.
Nominees are Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50.
Okay, it was in there.
Next is Best Debut Indie Game, which recognizes a development team that hasn't won a Game Award before. In fact, these teams published their first game in 2024. The nominees are Animal Well, Balatro.
Okay, wait. Yeah, what's he talking about? It says being nominated for Game of the Year and Best Debut, but not Best Indie. He was in there, right? Was I blind?
Used outside of the traditional publisher system. The nominees are Animal Well, Balatro.
Yeah, what? It's in all three of them. I'm gonna reply to this 10 minutes ago. What you mean? It's in all three of those. I'm rooting for Luke Roberts to win Best Performance of Silent Hill 2. I think he did a really great job. I'm also a big fan of Rebirth, so I wouldn't be mad about Brianna White winning. That one. So hold on. Let me look at that again. Where did that fall under? It was Best Performance. Life is Strange. I don't know. I haven't played it.
Umberly Gonzalez for
I haven't played that one either.
Outlaws. Luke Roberts, Silent Hill 2.
So this one, well, I guess they kind of like, did they base the face model off of this guy? He kind of looks like him in a way, a little bit. I think it's like the nose.
And Melina Jurgens, Senua Saga, Hellblade 2.
Yeah, that one's tough. I mean, that one I really can't weigh in on. I haven't played like three out of the 5. I played Rebirth, and then what else? Yeah, Rebirth is on there, and I've seen Silent Hill 2. I haven't played any of these, so I can't really chime in on it. I actually forgot Hellblade 2 came out, to be honest. I don't think I know anybody who played it. I can't believe Pokemon trading card got in mobile game.
Pokemon.
That's gonna be too. I mean, I feel like what, Balatro wins this then, because it's in Game of the Year, so that makes sense, right? Unless Pokemon somehow takes it, but I don't see how. Let me see. Is there a website? Here you go. Vote and learn more here. Is the website loading? Maybe. Yes, no, maybe so. No? Oh, wait, oh. Okay, I'm just gonna close that for now. Alright, hold on. Let me hide this for a second, because it's gonna let me sign in. Boom. Hold on. It's signing me in. Maybe. But yeah, so for those of you hanging out with me today, I appreciate you guys. So what is everybody's game of the year? Like, out of the nominations that we have gotten, what is our what's everybody's choices here? All right, hold on. I went to vote now. Start voting. All right, here we go. So the voting is out. Cool, I can do it. All right, so we're gonna start with the I guess the categories. I'm gonna skip the ones that don't really matter, like the esports team, athlete, content creator of the year. Let's just go. I'm gonna go to best esports game. And I feel like it's just gonna be League of Legends or Valorant. I'm gonna go for League. Okay. Final Fantasy 7? Yeah, I agree. Okay, Faker, yep. Next. Esports team is gonna be T1. I said I was gonna skip these, but whatever. Let's just go through them. Alright, hold on. Categories. Content creator of the year. Oh, I guess I gotta go to previous after voting, huh? I think it's just gonna be Queso. He popped off this year. Alright. Most anticipated game, content creator of the year, is Vash. Thank you, Skooma. I appreciate it, man. So yeah, I'm gonna. I just think that this makes sense. It's really hard to vote for anything else, even if you're a huge Death Stranding fan. If you loved Ghost of Tsushima, you've been waiting for Metroid Prime 4, Monster Hunter. It's got to be GTA 6 for sure. Like, that game is just it's gonna take over and change so much of what we experience in the gaming world. Only thing I've seen of Queso is him identifying all the fast food burgers. Yeah, it was him doing that, and then also the Roblox showcase. What is it, like a fashion show thing? I saw that all over TikTok. The hype for GTA 6 is astronomical. Yeah, best adaptation. I personally really loved Fallout. I thought Fallout was great. I thought it had an amazing cast. It captured the world so well, but you already know Arcane's gonna fucking win, dude. I think I remember reading somewhere that Arcane, each episode was like $2 million or something crazy like that. Even it might be more, but it's like the highest, like the most expensive animated thing ever. Arcane put me to sleep. I can't finish it. I finished the first season. I haven't watched the second one, but we already know Arcane's gonna win. So I'm putting my vote in what's gonna win. Best multiplayer. So for me, honestly, I've played all of these except for Warhammer and Helldivers. Shut up, Fumbles. Yeah, the category says for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay design, including co-op, massive multiplayer experiences, irrespective of the game genre and platform. I think personally, from a person who followed and watched so much of all this stuff, obviously Jamboree's so much fun, but it's not like I'm loading up Mario Party every day, excited for the next Mario Party. Like I whenever the homies want to play, I'm gonna put it together and stream it and have a good time. But it's honestly a toss-up between Black Ops 6 and Helldivers 2. Get that Bamco shit off of there. I think it's a toss-up between these two. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Warhammer gets in there, but from what I remember, the launch multiplayer was just not great. Like, it was a lot of issues, a lot of crashes, disconnects, and then the multiplayer mode itself was a lot, like, very lacking. So I'm gonna go for Helldivers just because of how huge it hit the online space. But I wouldn't be surprised if Black Ops wins. But I'm giving my vote to Helldivers. Next. Best sports game. I really don't care. I've been on a really big wrestling high for the past, like, 2 years now. So I'm just going to give it to WWE. Best sim strategy. So, Unicorn Overlord, I saw Brawly play through the demo, and he really enjoyed it. I got a couple of friends of mine who are big sim fans, and they really enjoyed Unicorn Overlord. They said it was really good. So I'm going to give my vote to that one based off of just, like, you know, hearsay from the people in my little circle. This one's tough, but I feel like I mean, it's tough, but it's not, because I feel like when I was playing through this game on stream, I was telling myself, I was like, I can't imagine the kid who in the future is like, oh, this was the first game I ever played, and it was Astrobot. Like, that's amazing, because that's like a great platformer, great music, amazing visuals, immersive fun, memorable moments. And it's just, like, perfect for, like, any age. I think that Astrobot takes it. I heard it was mid. Nah, no way. You heard wrong, bro. I'm telling you right now, it was not mid. Oh, wait, you're talking about Princess Peach. Yeah, it was mid. I think you can only press, like, 2 buttons in that game. Jump and attack, and that's it. Or, like, yeah, I think that was it. I think it was just, like, a 2-button game completely. Like, you can beat the whole game with just 2 buttons. Like, and you know, you can think about Astrobot. You're like, oh, in Astrobot you use jump and you punch, but no, like, you've got, like, triggers you use, you've got different interactables you mess with, you've got different ways of going about progressing through the stage, whereas Princess Peach was literally just 2 buttons. Honestly, like, there's no way I can't vote for Marvel vs. Capcom. I love Sparking Zero. But look at the description. For the best game designed primarily around head-to-head combat, ain't no way they designed fucking Sparking Zero in the way that's perfectly designed for head-to-head combat. There's no way, dude. That game has so much fucking bullshit. Dragon Ball Z Broly literally has an unblockable, unescapable move. And he's fucking broken. But yeah, there's no way I can't vote for Marvel vs. Capcom Collection. Like, it's got all the amazing classics and Marvel 2 in there. I saw that people just spamming the unblockables and right, yeah. So yeah, that one takes my vote. Granblue Versus is a fun fighting game for sure, and Multiverses, I don't want to talk about it. Tekken 8's great too, but I just think that Marvel, like, that legacy there is just so good, and all of those are games in there are meant to be fucking some badass head-to-head combat. Best RPG. So this was tough for me because I can only vote off of my own experience. Metaphor, I want to play it, but the thing about Atlas games, and specifically like the Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, and now Metaphor formula, is that it's a heavy toll, man. It's a big order. You got to sit there for 80 hours plus if you want to do everything. And like I said, I think that the overall feeling that I got for Rebirth, the excitement for the next game after Rebirth, but even more so just everything that you could do in Rebirth, it was just awesome, man. Great stuff. Yo, what's going on, Shisui? How's it going? I'm doing great. We're going over the Game Awards voting and nominations. I'm going through all of my votes here. Like I said, I played through Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a feel-good RPG. It's fun. It's funny. It's more Ichiban. It's more Kiryu. And it's got some really touching moments, but it's just not as strong as the first game with Ichiban, Like a Dragon. I think that it lacks in its story a lot to where it makes it that like huge selling point. Dragon's Dogma, I was excited to try it out, but I'm not tied to that series or franchise as much as other ones. And I know from at least the people I've spoken to and the videos I've watched and like, you know, people that I follow, they weren't too blown away by it. So it doesn't leave an impression on me. And then obviously Shadow of Erdtree, it could do well enough to surpass these other ones, but yeah, I think it just comes down to what the jury decides. And it sucks too, because yeah, when it comes to the award and who actually wins, it's 90% the jury's vote. So yeah, I just think that for my vote for best RPG, like Rebirth is just legendary, man. Amazing game. Best action adventure. Combining combat and traversal and puzzle solving. Oh man, I'm like thinking about it. It's funny, not Silent Hill 2. What the fuck? It's funny because it's not funny. It's pretty sad, but the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Everything I've seen from the game and the playthroughs that I've seen, it looks fun and it's got some in-depth combat and it's classic Prince of Persia, like, you know, exploration. But that studio got shut down. Ubisoft said no more. They got rid of it. And it's a little sad. For me personally, this is a toss-up between Astrobot and Zelda, obviously. Classic Ubi slop, yeah. With combining combat, traversal, and puzzle solving. Like, what's the better game between these two? I think Astrobot is a lot more standout than what Echoes of Wisdom was able to accomplish. But I think when it comes to the adventure side of things, obviously Zelda is the king when it comes to exploration, trial and error, using what you have to find out how to get through puzzles. And I think that offered a lot more adventure than what Astrobot did, because Astrobot levels, your first time going through the levels, they are so fun to like explore and find everything, but the game also it emphasizes the player to like go back in that level and find what you missed. And when you do that, you find that the levels are very short, they're very streamlined, and it's a very like by the book, go this way and then you'll get to the end. Whereas Zelda did a lot more with everybody's journey being a little different from each other's. Like, my playthrough of Echoes of Wisdom is completely different from yours because I went to the water temple first and got the water block, and I found my lovely water block weapon or my echo that I use for the rest of the game. And then you might have gone to the Gerudo Desert, you know, or whatever, for example, earlier than I did. So yeah, I think for this one, I'm probably gonna go for Zelda in that regard. And also, I just fucking love Zelda. That spinning mob you kept spamming, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the echoes are fun, man. It was fun to just completely destroy certain bosses with certain echo layouts, and depending on how many echoes you could summon, and it's all based off your exploration. Like you could have more summons out, depending on how many triangles you had, and you could have got more exploring other regions earlier or whatever. Best action game. For best game in the action genre, focused primarily on combat. Ooh, dude, this one I want to hear from you guys before I jump into it. What's everyone voting for here? This one's tough. I feel like this one could go either way, depending on the jury. I don't really see Black Ops winning this, but everything else has a chance. I only played Space, probably Wukong though. Yeah, my vote is probably Wukong or Helldivers. Like I said, I enjoyed Stellar Blade. I think it has a great soundtrack. And I think that some of the interactions with the enemies and your skills is really fun, but it's a lot of copy and paste, man. That game suffers from not evolving enough throughout the gameplay. There's a lot of enemies that feel the same. There's a lot of block strings that feel the same. There's a lot of approach to combat that feels the same. And you get really strong really fast, and it becomes kind of tedious to be in battle. It's kind of annoying. Actually, I played Helldivers too. Yeah, you did. I haven't. Warhammer looked awesome. Yeah, I mean, Warhammer looks... I want to play Warhammer so bad, but I have not got around to it. I want to do like a playthrough of me, Cloud, and Solara at some point. I think it'd be awesome. We're just waiting. Like, that Warhammer looks like a really fun time, a fun weekend. Like, if we have 2 days, 3 days off, and the game costs $20 in a Steam sale, like that'd be perfect. Chef's kiss. That'd be so good. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a toss-up between Helldivers and Black Myth Wukong the most. But it's also... It comes down to what the jury feel like. So what... Does anybody know what the actual controversy for Helldivers 2 is? Let me see. Helldivers 2 controversy. Controversy explained. Another Reddit. Oh, it's a video. 16 minutes. Whoa. Okay, so the big talk. Oh, so it was the PSN thing. PSN forced some online shit, and it got removed from a bunch of countries. There are 195 countries, and PSN is only available in 90 of them. Sony couldn't just let a good thing be good enough financially. They just had to make this the most tone-deaf and insincere gut punch to Arrowhead possible. The create account part is something that overwhelmingly majority can and will swallow, and will I probably, as will I probably. It's one of the few games I got a large number of my closest friends into. Sony had me there, but my brain did go, what are other crossplay games I could get into them? Sadly, games I love like Myth Force aren't crossplay. Then they reversed that. I think they either removed or delayed it, but it still isn't available in those countries. So yeah, so that's the big thing, and it sucks because I want to say that's a Sony thing, not a developer thing. Like Arrowhead Games, I don't know if they want that, or I want to say it probably still is bad that they might have known and didn't disclose that. You know what I mean? So that might be an issue. But that's something that could hold back the fan base, but not the jury. I don't think the jury would care, which is stupid, but they're probably going to see it just by what the game offers and what the reception was for the game itself, not the surrounding issues. So, yeah, I really think it could be either or. The fact that Wukong got nominated for Game of the Year, I feel like this is going to be the one that wins. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to Helldivers 2. That'll be my vote for the best action game. Best VR game? It's got to be... Dude, I didn't know Metal Hellsinger got one. That's sick. But I'm just going to give it to Batman because I'm sad Suicide Squad sucked so much ass. I think they either removed it... Oh, no, I read that. My bad. Best mobile game. I'm really enjoying a Pocket Trading card game, but it is not the best mobile game. It is very bare bones in what it offers. You can play against players, play against bots, pull cards, and that's it. And it's fun. I like it, but it's not the most amazing thing ever. I think that out of all these, the MiHoYo verse is just gonna fucking take it. Even though Balatro is up for Game of the Year and it is a game that is released on mobile, I just think that ZZZ is gonna take it. So I'm gonna vote for ZZZ. Like Pocket is not it. Fun, but missing so much. Yeah, I think so too. All right, moving on. Best debut indie. I really think that out of the three, all of these, the three that can win is Animal Well, Balatro, or the Plucky Squire. I love everything about the Plucky Squire, but it just did not go above and beyond to hit that pinnacle. I would love to vote for it because the gameplay looks great, the art style and the innovation there is so cool. But it's got to be between Animal Well and Balatro, and I just think Balatro's gonna take it. Moving on. Best indie game. Yeah, let's just go into Balatro. I really do want to try UFO 50 though. I've heard nothing but good things of this game. Is it on Steam? Let me see. I'm sure it's on like console too, right? But I just want to see how much it goes for. Like, what's the price for it? I'm gonna look it up right now. UFO 50. UFO 50 is a collection of 50 single and multiplayer games that span a variety of genres, from platformers to shoot-'em-ups to puzzle games, roguelikes, and RPGs. Our goal is to combine a familiar 8-bit aesthetic with new ideas and modern game design. It is currently $24.99 on Steam. And so yeah, it's a little jamboree, kind of like a collection of games that you would find on older consoles, like or not even older, like even newer ones, like the Atari 50 or whatever, stuff like that, where it's just like a big mishmash of a bunch of different games, which is cool. I definitely want to check it out at some point. Community support. Recognize a game for outstanding community support, transparency, responsiveness, inclusiveness, social media activity, and game updates and patches. I feel like this one is I feel like Fortnite's just gonna win. They had Snoop Dogg perform a free concert in the middle of Times Square. What other game developer would ever do that? Name me one. They would get a free concert of Snoop Dogg and Ice Spice, if you care, in the middle of Times Square during the gameplay live event. You log into the game, you hop on at a certain time, you can watch the concert for free. And they're doing another one soon with Juice WRLD, apparently. I think Fortnite just does something that is completely different from what you expect with other games when it comes to how they introduce their new seasons, how they introduce their new collaborations. And you guys know I love Baldur's Gate 3. That was my top 3 game of last year. Final Fantasy 14. I've been playing it for over a decade now. I love those games, but I definitely cannot downplay how much Fortnite does. Yeah, the other one, Baldur's Gate 3 is probably gonna win, which is the what category was that we saw it fall under? Best ongoing. Oh, you know what? That might be it. I think best ongoing game is gonna be Fortnite for me, and I think the best community support would be Baldur's Gate 3 for me, because of the amount of mods and what the community has done for the game itself. I think I misread those. So yeah, that's what I initially had wanted to do, was the community support aspect for Baldur's Gate, but then the best ongoing game is definitely Fortnite. I would definitely think so. Games for Impact. I'm not familiar with any of these. I mean, I played Hellblade 1. So I don't know. Sorry. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one I would choose from out of these. It's probably going to be either Life is Strange or the Tales of Zao. I think either one of these two. I would not be surprised if Neva took it. But let's just go with Life is Strange. That one's like the most widely spread and widely known. Calls himself God Gamer, hasn't played any of the nominated. Hey, relax. Okay, those were out of the left field. Today's been a rough year. I mean, this year has been a rough year, right? How about that? Cut me some slack this year, please. Innovation and accessibility. Recognizing software, hardware. I don't know. I mean, I don't dabble too much in the accessibility front when it comes to these nominations. Or like games in general. I don't really find the need for that. I mean, obviously it's amazing that games offer accessibility, and then we want that always. But I'm not sure. Omni movement. Omni movement. Oh shit! You can move in every direction. Black Ops 6 easy. Vash needs to add aim assist. Nah. Give me aim assist in any Rockstar game. I'll take it. But in other games, nah, I'm good. Except Halo. I guess Halo, I'll be alright with aim assist because I play a controller. I don't know what it is. I mean, I think it's just the fact that I grew up with Halo on controller. It makes sense. But every other first-person shooter, I can't do anything but mouse and keyboard. It just doesn't feel right to me. This one, I don't know. I'm just gonna give it to Prince of Persia, just so then I can tell you, fuck you, Ubisoft. You closed down a studio that is no longer around and won an award. I think it's a toss-up between Luke Roberts and Brianna White. I want to say that probably Luke Roberts is going to win this. But I'm going to go with Brianna White. Because Final Fantasy, baby. Best audio design. I feel like Hellblade's going to win this shit. Like, if it's up to the jury, I feel like Hellblade's going to win this shit. Because, let me double check. The audio design is different. Yeah, score and music. Okay. Luke Roberts did good, but literally there's like 50 lines of dialogue in the whole game from all the characters. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I feel like that's something similar happened. Somebody won an award for something. It was probably like an Oscar. And yeah, they didn't say much of anything in the movie. Crap. Was it The Remnant? With Leonardo DiCaprio? I don't remember. There was something similar in that regard, so it's not like out of left field that it could happen. But yeah, best audio design. I think that Astrobot has a good chance for this because that game is all about like the haptic feedback and like the design of the controller making sounds along with the gameplay, and then also the gameplay itself, everything being interactable. But I don't know. I think my gut is telling me that it's going to be Hellblade 2. Call of Duty, you know, yeah, they put a lot of effort into what each gun sounds like and the reloading and the bullets flying and all that shit exploding. But I also think that the sound design in that game, it overlaps so much because there's so much happening that it loses that extra bit of like realism. Because you'll be in like one of those matches, well, I forgot the name of the mode, but there's like a mode in Black Ops 6 where it's like dog tags. You gotta like collect them. And your respawn rate and the amount of people getting shot and dying, it just overlaps so much and becomes a big fucking cluster. Like explosions, noob tubes, like everything's happening and it just doesn't sound great. Kill confirmed? Is that? Yeah, I think that might be it. Silent Hill 2 has amazing audio design. Yeah, I don't doubt that too. I might be undermining Silent Hill 2 because that remake came out and it had great reviews all across the board, and yeah, like the overall essence of how you feel in that world comes across rather well. I do think that there are certain aspects of like the visuals of that game that aren't great, but this is strictly audio, so yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I mean, this one's another one. It's like it's hard to pinpoint exactly what the jury is actually going to be finding more appealing when it comes to the overall audio design and sound design in the game. I just feel like they might be throwing Hellblade, like, you know, the whole Hollywood side of things in the gaming community. I feel like they're gonna throw Hellblade like a bone and be like, here, you know what, y'all popped off in this regard. Because that was like like the past 3 years, I swear to God, we were getting like some crazy theatrical showcase of what the game was gonna portray or whatever, and I was like, I don't know, this is wild. But yeah, let's just, you know what, let's take a risk, and we're gonna give it to Silent Hill. This one, you already know my vote. No, that's not it. Over here, there you go, that's the right one. Thank you. Metaphor tried to fucking snipe me. They tried to take it from me, but no. I'm sorry, dude. Like, it is, like, this will be, I don't care. No, I do care a little bit. Like, I was gonna say I don't care if it doesn't win Game of the Year, but if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth does not win Best Score in Music, I am going, I don't know. You ain't even heard Metaphor? I don't need to. They sold me, bro. I heard Metaphor. You want to hear the battle theme to fucking Metaphor, dude? You want to hear this shit? Hold on. Hold up. Pause this for a second. Listen to this shit, dude. Hold on. Let it build up. Pretty sure it's this one, the battle theme. This is the battle theme. Some people be like, oh my god, it's so different, and it's like fucking epic, and like the opera, and blah blah blah. It sounds fucking stupid to me. This part sounds badass. I will say that. This part's good. It gives me like Fire Emblem. It gives me like Triumphant, Hero. They tried to do the Witcher thing, yeah. That part's cool. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the guy, like, just scatting. He was just yodeling this random shit. It is wacky, though. It is, you know, I respect him for doing something different, but it is, like, taking a big risk of your battle theme, having this dude fucking just rambling. You know what's funny, though, is that we're probably going to hear this at the Game Awards. He's speaking Latin, this language of the gods. Yeah. Okay, let's go listen to Sephiroth's theme real quick. You want to hear that? Hold on. Sephiroth theme Rebirth. Yo, what up, Shinzo? How's it going? Oh, yeah, hold on. Spoilers, by the way. Sorry. Here, I'll just let it play in the background while we look at this. Hi, Harley. How's it going, Shinzo? Thank you for being here. We are just talking about the Game Awards and the nominations. Sorry if the audio's too loud. Oh, dude. Oh, take me back. Dude, I can't wait. When Rebirth comes to PC, I'm gonna do it all over again. I'm gonna do it all over again. Well, Solar's gonna get it, and then I'll play whenever he's done. The build-up? Oh. And this is not even... Turn this shit down. Shut up. And then, look, I'm not even getting into what... Like, this is, like, just, you know, obviously, Sephiroth battle theme, goated, crazy, theatrical, so much elegance and grace and destruction and all of that mixed into this beautiful ballad But what is it? The main appeal was the Bow Wow Wow song, dude, from the dog side quest. I want to take a peek at the video real quick. Okay. Real quick, I just want to look at it real quick. But yeah, obviously there's different like parts of the entire battle that go on for forever. But it's beautiful. Spoiled the fuck out of me in that 0.5 seconds. Yeah. Battle theme to final boss. True, true. All right, you're right. I'll give you that. But even the battle theme is beautiful, and it's ever changing. All right, moving on. Best art direction. Um, man, I feel like did Stellar Blade have good music? Yeah, it was pretty solid. The music was from the people who made the soundtrack to Nier, like Nier Automata, and people absolutely love that composer. Um, and so yeah, it had some pretty cool like I don't know, like it's like a strange melodic language that's thrown in at different times for like more intense battles, and then also like for the resting sites at camps and stuff. So yeah, it had some pretty solid moments. Um, what is it? Yeah, I feel like this one, it's got to be Wukong or Metaphor for sure. I feel like Wukong could take. It says it's creative or technical, so that's the reason why Metaphor or Wukong could take this. I just feel like Neva is just gonna be like this random side pick that they're gonna go for because of how like minimalistic but also fantasy esque, kind of like Journey in a way, where it's like a great art style, but it's got that going for it. Um, but yeah, I really feel like it's just gonna come. This one's hard because you're comparing art styles that like clash completely. Like you have Black Myth Wukong, which is just like hyper realistic, fantasy, like grand, huge monsters in the sky, all the particles and the dust clouds and all the effects that are driven in this world that he's in. But then you've got Metaphor, which is just like anime, but like Renaissance style like paintings and shit. If it's technical achievement, I'd say Wukong, but because I saw it like 10 years ago as an alpha and never thought it'd release. Yeah, exactly. Wukong is like whenever we saw it, whenever they first showcased it, we were like, what the fuck? There's no way they're gonna make in this game. It's like impossible. And so, yeah, in that regard, the way the game looks and the way it handles is absolutely amazing. But but yeah, that one's tough. I feel like for me personally, because of my nostalgia of that moment as well, seeing the teaser for Black Myth Wukong and seeing to where it ended up and how it ended up. I think that art direction it's an achievement of its own for sure. Um, I think it's weird for me to see Elden Ring show up because Elden Ring is it's got some great set pieces and like things you can look at in the background, but when you get down to the nitty gritty, when it comes to like the models and the animations and like little things like that, it's not the most well crafted. I would say. I think it's definitely lacking in that master class of all aspects, not just the faraway visuals or the overall design of the world. But I do give it its respect in that regard. Like Elden Ring and on Dark Souls games, they really capture atmosphere really well. But they just need to work on the more finer details, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a Wukong. I wouldn't be surprised if Metaphor takes it though. I would be surprised if Astrobot takes it, but I could see maybe where they're coming from. But yeah, best narrative. Um, this one's tough for me, to be honest. Like I'm probably gonna vote 7 because the story is getting so wild and taking you into this journey where the like it's not over yet. But that's the thing, is that people could use that against it and be like, well, how are you gonna compare a game that's the middle stepping stone to the story conclusion to other games that have their story like finished within the same, like, breath. Um, So I feel like it probably won't win. It's probably going to be either Metaphor or Silent Hill 2. I don't know what the general consensus is for Metaphor's story or how it ends. I'm not sure. I really want to play it. I need to play it eventually, but as of right now, I can't. So yeah, and I don't know how much they changed from Silent Hill 2 story wise, if they did change anything at all. But I can see that getting in there as well. So we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, I'm just gonna throw my vote to 7 because I'm invested in that story. And I'm excited for the next entry. And there's a lot of twists and turns that have happened so far. So yeah. Best game direction awarded for. Oh wait, hold on, I forgot my music. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. They changed a bunch of small stuff, but overall still the same. Okay. Creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Huh. So I'm trying to piece it in my head. Creative vision and innovation in game direction. When it comes to innovation with Astrobot, there isn't too much. There's a lot of platforming that we've seen in the past. There's a lot of mechanics that we've seen in different games, like hovering and extending, like grappling and stuff like that. Not much in the innovation department there. But obviously the game direction was great. They handled it well from Astro's Playroom to here, with evolving the worlds and stuff. The 7 remakes hasn't really been done before. Yeah, I think that's where I'm feeling on 7 remake is that the combat and the way that things are handled with the unison attacks of the characters, the synergy attacks, and just how the world is traversed, how you're able to progress through certain sections of the game. There's a lot in that game that offers a lot of creative vision and direction. So that one's high up there. Wukong, same thing. I feel like that game is kind of by the book when it comes to its action. Like it treats itself as an action game and it doesn't extend past that. And the story being a retelling while also teasing that it's a continuation of previous entries. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like out of all these, I mean, Balatro, obviously, it's a standout, new, addictive game that people are really enjoying. And I can see the jury maybe weighing in on that and seeing that it's enough to merit enough innovation and in-game design that we haven't seen anywhere else. But yeah, I mean, Elden Ring was just more of that with more skills and such. And Metaphor, from what I've seen of the gameplay, it has a lot of aspects of what to expect, when it comes to Atlas games and their presentation and how they utilize their party and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one a 7, just for how much they push the player to do different things. And this one, I've already said it. You guys already know 7's my game of the year. But what a layout, I'm really impressed and surprised that Astrobot made it all the way here. I knew that it was going to be a standout because of just how much fun the game is inherently and how much just fun, simple video game. Like you play that game and you feel like, man, this is why I love video games, because it just lets me escape, lets me have fun, it lets me enjoy what I'm doing, and I'll enjoy the collecting aspect of all the different characters, and especially that extra bit of love if you're a PlayStation fan and played the different franchises over the years. I can see that. But yeah, this is where it's tough, dude, because it's a toss up. You don't know. You don't like. There has to be a reason why they fought for the DLC being thrown into the Game of the Year stuff. Like maybe enough of the people in the jury or whatever were already advocating for it or something. I don't know. Wukong is a technical marvel, and it's got its own little bit of excitement around it with the people who played it. And yeah, one of the biggest shortcomings of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is that a lot of the game falls to it being the middle game. You know, it's like if it's like the Lord, you're watching the Lord of the Rings, and the first movie's so fun to get through. The second movie, the Two Towers, like obviously the whole movie's in their entirety is great, but people always say I love the Fellowship of the Ring or I love Return of the King. You know, like I usually don't hear people say Two Towers is my favorite. And the reason is because like the characters are, that's like where they're going through some turmoil, and there's some big scenes for sure, but it's like a stepping stone to the grand finale. It's a stepping stone to the big answers, or the ability to get to those answers, you know, stuff like that. And nobody played Seven Rebirth. So yeah, so it's tough, and you know, metaphor, and the thing that also it could play a factor is that Rebirth came out at the beginning of the year, man. Like Rebirth came out whenever it was, like the recency bias thing of it all could play a part, but I think the same thing happened with Elden Ring and it won. I think Elden Ring came out early, and then even then it still won. So you know, you can't use it as an excuse, but it also could play into a lot of people's judgment if they haven't gone back to it in a while or experienced it fully again. Because obviously when you're playing a game and you're there in the moment, it's there's a lot more connection to the game and experiencing it fully there in the moment rather than reflecting on it months later. But all right, there you go. There it is. Votes cast 29 after 29. That's gonna be it for my overview and my nominations for everything. Obviously there's some games that I need to get through, I need to play. I try to stay as informed and as up to date with everything that's been coming out, but as people have stated and as we have been like discussing it, this year is definitely, you know, some people consider it not as high of a peak as last year, or some people feel like this year was just kind of like you had your standouts and that's it, there's nothing else really in between. But obviously there are games out there that are great this year. There's so much to look forward to in the coming year, and there's still other games coming out this year that I'm looking forward to, like Stalker 2 and Indiana Jones. I mean, some people might not be interested in Indiana Jones, but everything I've seen of the game looks interesting to me. I'm excited for it. So we'll see how that game pans out. I think it's still coming out this year, right? I don't know. If Archery wins, gaming is dead. Nah, I mean, obviously, you know, we can be dramatic, of course. If Final Fantasy VII wins, gaming is dead. I just think that it is an interesting thing. Like, this layout's interesting, and we've seen it in the past before, obviously, with indie games making their way in. But I think what's throwing it off this year is there was a lot of letdowns, man. There was a lot of games that kind of fell flat. There was a lot of games that didn't hit the mark. There was a lot of games that could have been better, had potential, and just didn't fully capture what would have made it perfect or amazing. And I think that's what it's showing, is that it's proving more and more this year that the idea of shipping a game, fixing it later, isn't always going to work, and it's not always going to be the way to go about things. And man, What the fuck, Suicide Squad? Rocksteady, god damn it, man. Rocksteady, why? Suicide Squatters, yeah. You already know where I was going with that. I like Dragon Path Traveler 3. I want to play that too. WWE winning best racing game. Game Awards is innovative. Yeah. Yeah. But all right, yeah, I'd love to see y'all's votes. If you guys watch this on YouTube, thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought about my takes. And obviously this year for sure was a rough year for me. For those of you who don't know, I lost my brother this year, and gaming just kind of took a little bit of a backseat. But then also, you know, it keeps me going. It keeps me around to experience these things on my behalf along with him. Like I want him to see these games with me. Rebirth was the final game that me and Broly played together. And yeah, I always want to give a shout out to him. Broly, I love you. I hope you're gonna watch the Game Awards with us. And yeah, I mean, obviously everyone has their bias. I'm not here trying to claim that my opinion is the absolute and this what makes sense. Like I loved Rebirth for a huge reason, is because it was the last game I got to play with my brother. You know, we were sat there day one of the midnight premiere or whatever, and just marathoned it. Me, him, and Solara played it like nonstop. And yeah, I still need to play Shadow of Erdtree because he loved Elden Ring, and he probably would have already beat Shadow of Erdtree with his damn face. And he probably would have been playing Metaphor right now too, because he always bought the Persona games. But I'll play it eventually. But yeah, I'll be there December 12th, I believe, is the day, right? Let me see. Yeah, December 12th, I will be here live on Twitch and also on TikTok. I'll be watching the awards, watching the announcements, reacting to it all, talking about it, seeing what we think, all that good stuff. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you had a great time, and I'll see you in a future one. Peace. Stay safe, stay beautiful, stay smart, all that good stuff.